Yes, yes, yes.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Collective Bargaining Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Michael Hercules, and with the ever insightful Mr. Thge Campbell. How's it going, my brother?
Oh man, it's another one of those, man. Doing the people's work. Had to take some time off. Just been flying around the place and just tons of work, man. But we're back. We're here. It's the playoffs, and we're excited, man. And today we got something a bit different. We actually got we got a new place in Greens that's covering some of the bills tonight for us. And we definitely open to others who have a place, who have a restaurant, who may have a business. Feel free to jump in if you want, right? You can take part and get your name or your business out there while we talk sports. And as you've seen, we've brought on a wide range of people on the show, right? We've had basketball players, NBA players, we've had WNBA coaches, head of rehabilitation, on the show. For the Washington Mystics, we've had athletes, Olympians like Karani James, Lyndon Victor, and tons more to come. We've had semi-professional ball players like Chiron, who has his own foundation and also to his agency helping people to get into the college system and go beyond that to become professional. So we do a wide range of interviews, and the prep we do on this show is unlike any other.
Crazy.
So we go into the data. We prove why those athletes are great, why they may not be, but why they're still good. We keep the positive energy, of course.
Facts.
And of course, we love getting on Knicks fans. If you're a Knicks fan, you may
Where's
not
Wilbur?
like this show.
Where's Wilbur?
You may not like this show, but hey, all hate aside, man, we're good. We're good. We're deep into the playoffs. A couple teams in there. But before we go on, we definitely want to pay homage to the sponsor today. So if you're in Grenada, new place to go to. I think my co-host knows what I'm talking about. When I saw this place, I was blown away. I got to see it in person. And if you're on the scene at night, it doesn't matter how old you are, it's good to just try it out and see this experience for yourself. All right. So without further ado, we're going to show you a little something. Yeah, the Owl's Nest. Shout out to the crew at the Owl's Nest. Later in the show, we'll show you. Definitely. We'll show you. Definitely. We'll show you how to find it. All right, later in the show. But for now, we'll dive into what's happening in the league. I'll let my co-host take over because I know he's all over this.
Listen. All right. So we have so many places to start, and I want to start basically with the MVP award because that just dropped, right? Nikola Jokic was named the NBA MVP. I'm not sure how I feel about that. That's his third award in the last 4 years. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, I think SGA deserved it more this year, mainly because of the criteria that they have been using for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Right? If you're gonna stick to the criteria, then fine. If you're just gonna base it on who's the best player, okay, let's assume that he was the best player. They did have a tie, basically, for the best record in the West, right? So even though they're not the number one team, right, they're still they're number 3?
Yeah.
4?
Yeah. Then
3?
Number 3, I think.
Yeah, right. So they're number 3. Even though they're not the number 1 seed, they were tied for the best record. So I'm not sure if that was taken into consideration. He did basically almost average a triple-double. So it's going to be tough. It's very tough. Swallowing this pill that he won the MVP for me, because I think SGA deserved it a little bit more than he did.
Hey, shout out to Ricardo, by the way. Now, Ricardo, I have no problem with that take, right? About Timberwolves going to win the playoffs, but I just have to know, were you with the Timberwolves before Ant-Man started going off in the playoffs? I'm just curious about that, you know? I think they have a legitimate chance, but I think Ant's contribution is a bit overstated. I think where people are overlooking the bigs that the T-Wolves have and their input. You know, they remind me of actually the Lakers pre-pandemic or during the pandemic, that bubble run, so to speak, where they had multiple big bodies. And you could argue that the big bodies the T-Wolves have are even better because of where they are in their careers, right? And how they play as a team. And then you have Ant-Man, who can just do his thing in the space because, you know, you have Jokic neutralized, you have a bunch of the bigger guys neutralized for the Nuggets, right? So you don't have that ability to center on the offensive players, right? But definitely, that's what I said. You know, I agree. Your take is legitimate, man. When you have those defensive pillars and big men that could turn over high amounts of offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, shoot the ball really well, like as Cat can, and give you certain nights as good as he can, you're going to have good nights. You're going to have great nights and consistent nights against great teams. So they have a legitimate chance. I think, you know, the question is, when you look at, okay, if they dispose of the Nuggets in maybe 5, right? Do they have a shot against the Thunder? They absolutely do. Yes. Do they have a shot against the Mavs? They absolutely do. So now you're looking at a path to the finals. And when you look at it there, I mean, this is wide open, man. I'm going to make a take here.
Oh,
and Ricardo does a hot take. This is the most open the playoffs have been, given the current teams in there. And given it all depends on the situation with Denver, right? Because if Denver somehow finds a way to get past these guys in 6 or 7, then it closes down a bit, you know, because I think Denver can then handle any team going forward.
Yeah, if Denver comes back and wins in 6, or they win in 7, then I think they definitely have. There's no question that they're gonna win. Yeah, well, to me, there's no question to me that they're gonna win, because the defensive that the Timberwolves are showing right now,
it's incredible.
They continue this, they win everything.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, yeah, no, I think, and Ricardo says this season just shows how hungry every team is, and you shouldn't take any team for granted. The only team I will take for granted in there is the Knicks. And you know why? Because the Knicks are the most overhyped squad in the history of basketball. Doesn't matter if they're having a good or bad season, they are just overhyped. And to a point where, you ever tried talking with a Knicks fan, man?
It's god awful.
Shout out to the Knicks fans, man. We y'all play an important part, you know, because when your team is playing badly, you could always turn to a Knicks fan and have a good day, man. You know, Teddy Teddy says
The
Celtics can win.
Celtics can
I,
win.
I
Yes, they
agree.
can.
I agree. They
They
can
can.
absolutely win, man.
Mhm.
This is the most open as it's the trajectory it's on right
Correct.
now. This is
Currently,
the
it's the most open.
most open I've seen the playoffs.
Yeah.
I want to say I'm trying to go back. You probably have to go as far back as sometime in the early thousands, where you had the Denvers, the Sacramentos. The West was like, okay, who's coming out? In the earlys, I'm talking, right? So I'm
Like in the
talking
early
more the
2000s.
West.
So that's
So
after the three-peat. That's after the three-peat Lakers.
after the three-peat. After the
Okay.
three-peat. Well, no, not necessarily after the three-peat, because remember, your Lakers robbed Sacramento. That was not that clear. It wasn't clear. Come on, the 7-game series. Are you telling me that wasn't robbery? Come on.
How did the Lakers rob them? You could say the
You saw
refs
the
maybe,
calls in
but
that game?
the Lakers
Exactly.
didn't rob any. The Lakers didn't rob nobody.
Man, whatever.
You blame
man.
the refs
Come
all
on.
you want to.
Yeah, we're going to blame the refs and the Lakers.
can
Come
blame
on, we're
all
going to put them both, we're going to back them up in the
The
same.
Lakers didn't do nothing.
Put them in the same bag, man. Come on. So I got to go back as far back as the early 2000s to all right, after the first 2 championships, all right?
Okay.
But right
okay.
around there to where I would say it became really an open field for a little bit. And you could
Right.
argue the Spurs, but really they had some tough matchups, man. It wasn't a
Yeah.
given like that, it
Wasn't a
was
given.
pretty open.
Just-
Yeah. So no, it's not just about b-ball, man. We bring on
Francine.
Francine. It's definitely not, we just have a special segment today where we're just sort of going into,
Because
the
it's the
playoffs.
NBA. Yeah.
Because of what's happening in the league and everything, we're just touching on that. But you can actually control the podcast from the comments. So if you have a comment on a sport or something else that's happening in the league, in the Premiership, for example, the EPL, anything at all, we're willing to cover it. So we want to have really just an open platform for all sports. Certain nights we may switch it up and trigger off on, because of what's happening. If there's a championship game or something like that, we may dive into it. But really and truly, we cover all sports.
Fact.
If you want to talk the IPL, we could give you some of that. If you want to talk F1, even though I'm just waiting for Lewis to hop seats, right, and go over to Ferrari and let this nightmare come to an end. If you want to talk anything else at all, we got you. We have you. So. So definitely, and we have the Olympics coming up, so that's going to be a hot.
And we have
T20
T20 World Cup coming up as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that some of the games were actually in the States. So for people up here, just remember, you have the ability to attend the T20 World Cup right here.
Yeah.
So definitely that's one of those things. So okay, bye IPL. Now you lost me.
All right, Fran, it's okay.
All right.
We understand.
Nah, just trying to say, I'm not saying that that's going to be a dominant topic, right? But we cover anything really. You could attend games. Florida, Miami has a game. New York has games. I think Texas has a game as well.
Texas has one game. Yeah.
Yeah.
So isn't the opening is not in Texas? If I'm not mistaken.
I think that's Miami.
It's in Miami. It's in Miami.
Yeah, I think it's in Miami. Yeah. So if you're in any one of those states, you could actually attend the games, man. But it's going to be limited, of course, because they still want it to be, the majority in the Caribbean, right? So, yeah. But,
so they're just opening to the U.S. market because you got to introduce cricket into the U.S. market.
Right.
Got to make some more money.
Absolutely. It's a big market, man. You already have state tournaments and all sorts of stuff. And you actually have a big enough pool for the U.S. to have its own team now, right? So, I mean, and they got talented players, man. They got
20 teams.
Yeah.
4 groups at 20 teams.
Link, we'll drop the link for you. But if you go on to Google right now and you search up T20 World Cup and you go to schedule, it'll show you the stadiums where they're playing, the dates, times, everything that you need. So check it out for sure. But I believe Miami. You know what? I'm gonna Google it right now, man. I'll Google it right now on the show, man. On the show. T20 World Cup. All right, ICC. So first match, they're not showing. Usually they show the stadium, man.
Isn't it the West Indies versus Team USA or something like that?
I
That's
think
like a
it's
preliminary.
USA.
That's a preliminary match.
It
That's like an
says US.
opening.
It says USA versus Canada.
Oh, okay. So that's the official match.
Actually, you were right. The first match is actually in Grand Prairie Stadium in Texas.
Yeah.
So you got it right. You got it right.
Hey.
I have never heard of Grand Prairie Stadium in my life, though.
Me either.
I'm trying. Oh, this is Dallas. So the first T20 match is USA versus Canada, and that's going down in Dallas, just
USA
outside of Dallas.
Canada. All right.
I did not know. Okay, all right. It looks like a decent stadium as well.
I saw it as well. I was like, okay,
Yeah,
cool.
it looks like a decent cricket stadium. Keep in mind, you have sponsored cricket here in the United States. A lot of people think this thing is just an underground. Yeah, no. I've walked into a cricket stadium with bank sponsors and stuff in one of the smallest towns in Illinois, and I was like, where on earth am I right now? It's like, but the game is big here. The game is big here, especially with people from India. Such a large body of people from India actually traveling.
Because Team USA, I think half of Team USA is basically Indians.
Indian descent. Or okay.
Well, yeah, Indian descent.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. So that's gonna be interesting. I actually like that because what could happen is this, right? If the US goes ahead, if it gets to a point where you could open up an actual top, when I say major league, like to compete with the other major leagues, right?
Okay.
Cricket already has the global platform available to it, right?
Yeah.
And what that does for kids in Grenada and other islands is that creates a scholarship platform where now you could have colleges wanting to buy into running a cricket, platform within their schools,
colleges. Yeah.
And now you have villages home naturally have cricket fields, pitch, everything where you could start early, where we already start early for those who are interested, right? And now you don't have to wait until maybe go play in the Caribbean tournaments and hope to get selected. Now you could just pave your path through college, right? And then work your way up. So hey,
I hope you get seen by the big boys,
Yeah. So
into IPL or one of those other leagues.
Right. So that would be, so that's why I'm hoping for the growth, man. Hopefully we see more of that, But definitely Miami. I think Miami does have games as well. If you go to like the Stud Hub or any of the others, you'll see that New York has one. They have a Nassau County International Cricket Stadium there. I'm looking for Miami actually because you did ask for Miami.
Yeah, there should be one in Miami or in Florida.
Lauderhill, Florida actually.
There you go.
So it's not Miami.
It's North Miami.
North
Florida,
Miami.
sorry.
Yeah. So it's not Fort Lauderdale, it's Lauderhill, Florida.
Yeah, it's a little higher, right?
Yeah. So, they got quite a few games actually in there. So there's going to be, so you could pick whichever games. Obviously, I don't think the West Indies will actually be playing any games on, the U.S. soil. So
they'd be playing in a pre-season something.
That's about it, right? Yeah. It looks like India, and I would have been disappointed. Honestly, I would have been disappointed because the India versus Pakistan match, which is arguably your Real Madrid Barcelona match, is actually happening outside of the Caribbean. I don't know how they negotiated that, but I get it. You probably have more people here from those two countries, right? So that's
maybe the stadium might be a little bigger to accommodate everyone.
Right. So yeah, I'm not sure about that. I would have liked to see that play in the Caribbean.
But to be fair, you're introducing the game into a new place.
It makes sense,
right?
It makes sense.
You gotta have the star-studded teams across their play.
Makes sense. So yeah, so I think once this gets started, right, we will probably start something, to look at that. West Indies always has a shot when it comes to T20 because we just know how to go crazy with limited overs, man. There's nobody that does it like us when your back is against the wall and you have limited overs. So, and that's the reason why we've won multiple T20 World Cups in this short space of time, right?
Yeah,
So,
we seem to just click at the right moment and just get once that
absolutely.
gets rolling, it's over.
Yeah, yeah. So Terry Frank, shout out to you. He says it's Fort Lauderdale. So that's confirmed. It is
Okay.
Fort Lauderdale, and it's Canada, India, Ireland, Pakistan, and India. Well, India mentioned twice, but India plays Pakistan and New York. So definitely
Oh.
fireworks out there in New York. That's quite the group, man. That's quite the group, actually. So that should be.
Is that the group?
I think he meant USA as one of them because he mentions India twice. So definitely it's probably
Okay,
Canada,
probably.
India, Ireland, Pakistan, and USA.
I saw the group
So-
today. I can't remember if they were in the same, if Pakistan and India are in the same group.
Yeah, they're playing each other. So yeah, that's the group. It's Canada, India, Ireland, Pakistan, USA. Then you have Australia, England, Namibia. What is that? Is that Oman? Yeah, Oman.
Yeah, Oman.
And I'm just checking right now. I just had it on my screen and then it went away. Yeah, and Scotland. And then you have Afghanistan, New Zealand. I'm trying to figure out what country. Papua New Guinea,
Papua New Guinea is there. Yeah.
Uganda, and West Indies. So we're in that group with New Zealand.
We should
should
get.
be-
We should be able to go through, like finish first or second.
And I'm not even.
But you know how
coming
the
out like
West
that,
Indies
man.
could
I'm
be.
not, I'm not even coming out. I seen us get whooped by Afghanistan, bro. So I'm
I
not sure
have
about.
seen us get.
I'm not sure about that one. Yeah,
our
I'm not sure
deals
about that one.
handed to us.
Yeah.
But
But I will
yeah.
keep the confidence, definitely. I think
Oh,
we at least come out of that group in second or third. Now I'm trying to remember if it's only.
Listen, first or second, man. First or
We shall see. We shall see. Then you have Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, South Africa, Nepal, and the Netherlands. So I think it's good, man. I don't really see like a group of death situation.
No, there's no group.
Um,
I mean,
I
unless you
don't-
want to consider
Ye-
Pakistan and India group.
Maybe Group D
maybe.
with Bangladesh, South Africa, and Sri Lanka. That's probably
Okay, yeah.
it. Yeah, I could see that because Bangladesh has raised their level. So but the
Significant.
others, I don't see it being a problem for the names to come out of the other group. Now I would say Afghanistan has beaten us in the past, man. So I
Easily.
man, I that group there, we just have to watch it. We just have to watch it and perform at a high level. That's what I would say. But yeah, man. So we the whole point is we cover everything. All right, we cover everything.
I like
And
that segue we had there. That was-
yeah, definitely, man. Well, we both watch cricket, right? So
yeah.
and it's exciting stuff. But we have the Olympics too, which is pretty cool. So a lot going on there, a lot of prep. We've spoken with some of the athletes in terms of what their prep is going to be like, their training, some of the events that they're going to be going to, and we'll continue to do that as we get closer. So back to the playoffs.
Okay.
What's your takeaway, man, from everything you've seen so far?
The only thing that surprised me right now is the Timberwolves defense. I watched the first game was pretty good. It was solid. You know, it was a gritty game. They came away with the victory. But that last game, they dissected the Nuggets like it was some high schoolers. And I've never seen Jamal. It was the first time I've seen Jamal Murray behave like a spoiled child. It kind of rubbed me the wrong way, especially when he threw the towel, then he threw the heat pack, and then he showed the money sign to the refs as if they were paid. I was like, bruh,
It's crazy,
not
man.
because you can't get what you
that's-
want to get means you have to throw a tantrum.
That's really crazy to see him,
And, and
during
all
the
he,
game.
and all he got was a hefty fine.
Yeah.
Of $100,000.
So one of those, all these fake accounts on Twitter,
Yeah.
on X. So one of them came up with like a fake post saying Murray banned for 2 games. So I was like, but when I saw it, I was like, I understand it because you could look at this, him throwing it multiple ways, right? It could have hit somebody. Someone could have landed on it the wrong way. You know,
I wish someone. I wish the ref landed on it the wrong way.
well, I know you would wish a lot more, because you don't like Murray for whatever reason. Okay, I mean, the language I've heard you use towards Jamal Murray, I get it. I get it.
Hey,
So, but
I don't have a problem with the man. He's okay.
is I'm kind of saddened that he's not gonna get a game against Kyrie because they're definitely out of here. They're definitely on the way out.
I wish.
Let me tell you, man. The guy is I'm not gonna make that take right now because
Nope.
yeah, I'm not
It's
gonna
a
make
long
the take right now. Yeah, it's a long take. It's a long take. But what surprised me the most in these playoffs, right, are that the gentleman who's leading the Celtics in scoring right now.
Oh
Right?
God.
So the guy that's putting the cape on for the Celtics and scoring at a high clip and putting them through is actually the guy that we've completely dogged at the beginning of the playoffs, right? So I just want to put it out
I'm still
there
gonna dog him.
that Jalen
I'm still gonna dog him.
Brown actually is leading the Celtics in scoring.
In points per game. I guess.
That's huge. That's huge. I think he's stepping up huge, and Tatum is actually, I think leading in the rebounds and assists.
I mean, I watched. Did I see? I saw a couple games.
Right.
Tatum is making it able for him to get the buckets that he's getting.
Yeah.
Right. So like he's taking the pressure off of him, and all he has to do is just step in and make an easy bucket. Well, not easy, but step in and just make a bucket. Kind of similar to the if you want to compare it to the Nuggets, similar, not quite Jamal Murray-ish role, but
right,
a little bit like in between Jamal Murray and above Aaron Gordon. The ease is what I'm speaking about. Not like the scoring ability, but the ease in which he able to get his shots off now is easier. Plus, he's not taking as much difficult shots as he did in the season.
Yeah. And that's important. That's important, right? And I think it's just they realize that they can take a lot of pressure off, win games that way. And then you have obviously, the situation with Derek White, right? He is putting in work for this team. You could argue that pickup has been the most valuable of any team, in a long time, right? Because of his contribution and what he's putting in for that squad.
If you have any squad, you should have a Derek White on it.
You have to, and I mean, these are guys that just put in the work and they're consistent. That's what you need in order for your team to go through. Shout out to D'Lo. I mean, you just need consistency from these type of players, and that's what these guys are doing. And the Celtics, we said it at the beginning. We said they were the most balanced team. That's the team that you would want in any situation. The only thing is sometimes they struggle with the closing, right? So
sometimes,
well, all the time.
Sometimes,
all the time. Yeah,
bro, 9 times out of 10.
So tell me about New York, man. What is? Tell me about New York. What are your chances for them? Where do you see them going with the playoffs right now?
I can see them beating the Pacers. They can beat the Pacers, right? Because they got that grit. They got the grit to beat the Pacers, so they could probably out hustle them. The only problem is, they play a lot of minutes. So I don't know if that's going to be a factor in maybe a couple games. But Josh Hart is already playing 43 minutes a game. I don't think people understand. There's 48 minutes in a basketball game. Josh Hart is playing 43 minutes a game.
It's crazy.
Right? And we know coach loves to play his guys extended minutes. So I don't know if fatigue is going to be a factor, like in maybe a couple games, or if it's going to be a factor in the next if they reach the next round.
Of course.
But,
of course it's going to be. Of course it's going to be.
But they're hustling right now, and the thing is they gel well as a team.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen Thibs in Chicago, right? We've seen him with Jimmy. What used to happen with Jimmy before? We've seen him in other structures, man.
Yes.
Listen, it might work for some time,
but
eventually it will catch up with you in the form of injuries or fatigue, especially when you need them the most. So right now, and as I said, Knicks are only through. Knicks are only through. Shout out to Martin, man. Knicks are only through because we know why. Injuries to a certain player
Yeah.
right? Knicks are, I'm telling you, man, you can't win with just Jalen Brunson, man. I just don't see it happening. But you have to admire their confidence, right? That's just Knicks fans for you.
I mean, to be fair, you can't disagree with the numbers because the numbers are there. He's what, four games? Is it 4 or 5 games? 40-point games with
Right.
five assists, at least 5 assists. First player ever to do it. So you
Right.
can't discredit what he has accomplished. At the
Right.
same time, he's the only real scorer that they have. So like
Yeah.
all the pressure is on him, and you can say yes, while all the pressure is on him, that the defenses should be honing in on him, but his game style doesn't lead to them double teaming him like that.
Yeah,
At least from what I see.
they don't have a complete team, and I here's the thing, right? I think it even goes deeper than that, because when I look at the Knicks, okay, I'm thinking around hypothetically, who's a free agent, right?
Okay.
Who can they take that transforms that team into a complete team where you could say, okay, give me one player you could add to the Knicks today that
Any
would
player?
make that team an instant contender for the title.
Any player.
Give me, all right. Let's exclude Jokic. Let's exclude Embiid. Let's exclude Giannis. Yeah. So just those we're excluding. Give me a player in the NBA right now you add to the Knicks where they become an instant contender. And I mean like a legit contender, man. Side of those.
So we still have Randall.
Still have Randall. So it's down to, any other player. If you add Paul George to that team, I don't see them becoming a contender right now. I just don't see it. Right? So Martin said
Tatum?
Tatum.
I don't know.
I'm not sure. I just, there's something about that squad, man.
I don't know. It would all right. So because they already have Mitchell
So
Robinson.
we're getting some mixed reactions in the emojis there, but show up in the comments, especially if you're a Knicks fan. Please show up in the comments so we could hear your take.
He said MJ.
MJ.
Yeah, sure. If MJ was in the league, sure.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
MJ was in the league, sure.
That's a lot. That's a lot of firepower right there.
Yeah. I mean, they have Mitchell Robinson at center. And I think that's a good balance right there.
Right.
And they have Julius at power forward. The only upgrades I would see is either shooting guard or small forward. So it's probably Booker, maybe Booker.
See, I don't think Booker puts them over, man. And is Booker even a Thibs quality player?
I don't think so.
I would take, you know what? If I'm the Knicks, I'm running a campaign, not under the logo of the Knicks, right? Hear me out. I'm taking a campaign. I'm paying a lot of money to these trolls and everybody on social media, and I'm putting gas below Pat Riley's comments that he made 2 days ago. So Pat Riley came out and said, you know what? You saw what Pat said, right?
Yeah, I saw it.
You're not in the game.
If you're not in the playoffs, shut up.
You need to shut up. Right?
If you're not in the playoffs, you need to shut up.
I'm gaslighting that, and I'm trying to get Jimmy in because remember, Jimmy is used to Thibs' system, his plays, and Jimmy, playoff Jimmy, ooh-wee. I'm telling you, man. He might not have much left at that level, to be honest. There's a lot of wear and tear. That would be a major concerns. But a healthy Jimmy is a giant killer, man, by himself. And you put that in the Knicks squad, a healthy Knicks squad where you have Robinson, you have Randall, so you have your bigs, right?
Yeah.
And then you have Jimmy at you could run Jimmy arguably
at the 2 or 3.
2 or the 3. So that fills that position, right? Either one. You could run Josh Hart, so you keep Josh.
At the
Josh
2 or
is a 3, right? He's at the 2 or 3, so they're interchangeable, right? And then you have Brunson. That's squad.
Yeah, and then you have
there?
the other guy, the other Villanova guy, Devicia. I can't remember.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm chasing Jimmy in a situation like that. To me, that because of the acclamation to how Thibs wants stuff done, I I would go for Jimmy, man.
So
That's who I would select.
Martin says, what about Steph
Curry
or
or
Braun?
Braun.
I don't think Steph pushes them over. Maybe Braun.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, in the current system, yeah. My only thing with Braun's game is that we're probably talking about Braun as a
Facilitator.
yeah, and even as a facilitator, I look around the Knicks. If you build them out like that, it's not shooters, right? And his game
No.
with Brunson, I'm just not sure about that.
Yeah, it might not mesh well.
No, you're still gonna end up in a situation where maybe you're using Braun more from a scoring standpoint and not really the facilitating.
So then, if you need another scorer, what about KD?
Yeah, well, KD gives you the shooting.
And he still has some defense. Still has a little defense in him.
So that would work, and that would be a big lineup too, because
it would be a nice big lineup.
Robinson, KD at the 3, Josh Hart at the 2, and then Brunson moving the ball around, etc. So I would, if the T-Wolves weren't going crazy, right, when they did, there was a lot of talk about moving Cat potentially, right, because he wasn't becoming a star player, and Ant wasn't really fully developed. I would have gone for him because of his ability to shoot the ball as well as he does. And I would have taken him
Cat's
into
game.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Well, I shouldn't say I don't. It's not like I don't like his game. His game is fine. I just don't like his mentality.
Okay. Yeah. Well,
because once he plays, if you ever watch him play, like have a good game,
right,
you'll be like, "This is who I want you to be." But he doesn't do it on a consistent level, consistent basis.
Well, just look. Cat is the only guy, right? And Martin said Ja Morant. I mean, him and Brunson together.
Nah. I don't think so.
I mean, both
ball
would be good, but they're very ball dominant, man. That would be interesting to see,
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be interesting. What was I saying? I just lost the train of thought there for a second, and anyways, yeah, there was a point I was trying to make about another player.
About Cat?
Yeah, about Cat. Cat is the only player, right, that you could watch go off for 60, and he will leave you so frustrated over the course of the 60 points. He's the only player that does that to me, man. It's just something about his game, man. Like, he'll go off for 3 quarters, and he'll have, the 70 is there within reach, man, and he'll play it's just the same thing that you were talking about, right? That mentality is just not.
Yeah, it's his mentality.
Just not there.
If Cat had Ant's mentality, and
it doesn't even have to be killer. It doesn't even have to be killer mentality or anything like that. I'm just saying it's more along the lines of, just let me. I'm on fire. Let me get at it because this is my moment. Just season your moment. It's like it's just not there. The icing on the cake. The man puts together the cake. Now all he had to do is sprinkle some goddamn M&Ms on it. And he's not doing that. And you're like, what? Come on. That's the easiest part. Give me 2 points, 3 points. That's it. I'm telling you, man, it's frustrating. But we have, so we got a Knicks fan in the building. Shout out to Leron. He says Knicks need high level 2-way player that are consistent and durable with this coach. So Jimmy, Paul George come to mind, but to me, Paul George is on the tail end of his career. I don't see Thibs wanting a player like that, but he would leap at Jimmy. He would leap at Jimmy.
Yeah, he would leap at Jimmy because he know what Jimmy brings to the table.
Yeah.
Paul George is one of those players where I'm not sure why, but he just doesn't want to be the number 1. He'd rather just be a number 2 or number 3.
Yeah.
So if he goes there, we already know Brunson is number 1.
Right.
So he's just going to do what he has to do in the background. I mean, I still like him as a player.
As long as you're stepping up, I mean, that may not be a problem, right? But
I mean, once he doesn't play like he played in the playoffs.
Right. Yeah, so maybe he is a 3 right now, a number 3, and not a 2 or a 1 right now. So, but definitely that's one of those.
That Klay Thompson role when KD was there.
Yeah. So, but no, I mean, it's interesting, right? It's interesting. What about the Mavs, man? How you see that series? By the way, Leron, we were just talking about the Knicks, man, and I mean, we were saying that, yes, who would you need to fill in that position that would take them over the top? But as constructed right now, there's almost like a false understanding of, the Knicks being this false premise that the Knicks are some legitimate contender. If you look at the history of the Knicks,
They're not.
right?
They're not.
The 76ers were a broken team when you faced them. A broken team. All right? And
With a broken player.
you did what you had to do. You got into the series with the Pacers. You're up one, but let's be honest. When you face the Celtics, you're going to be put away. If you manage to get across the Celtics, if those guys have a mental breakdown going into that series with you, and you face either, I'm going to read it out to you right now. If you face the Nuggets, you're out of there.
Done.
If you face the Wolves, you're out
Done.
of there. If you face the Mavs, you're
It's
out of
done.
there. If you face the Thunder, you're out of there.
Done.
So
Yep.
right now, I don't think you have a chance in this conversation in the
Nope.
playoffs. And some people may disagree.
I mean, it's nothing against the Knicks. It's just that they're not ready for that kind of level of basketball yet.
Yeah. So Martin was asking about the Timberwolves and their defense.
We touched on that earlier.
We were talking about that, and I mean, Michael was saying that that's his most surprising thing in the playoffs. That the defense that they have is just like incredible. The gelling and maturity of Ant as well, because it's almost like he just hit a different. I don't think he hit a different plateau, right? I think he just realized I can do that.
Yeah.
You mean I could do this at this level, so it's more like just tapping into what he has rather than, okay, I just discovered this, it's more, I realized these guys can stop me.
He knew he had it since, he had it since last
Because
year.
of confidence,
It wasn't he wasn't executing well.
Execution, man. So, but when someone made a good comment, right? When you have those defensive pillars and you have the IQ and people playing,
once everyone buys in,
it's done.
That's
it's
all.
Done.
Once
it's
everyone
done.
buys in,
it's done.
That's it.
So he has that ability, that space now to work, and his team is dialed in on defense, man. We've seen what they're doing, man. They're hogging everything, right? They're hogging everything. They're taking up, in some situations, they're either giving full court press or they're coming up for you as soon as you cross that half-court line. Yeah. And they're hogging you, man. Like, this is almost, I want to say this is the closest thing that Silver will allow in terms of giving you that 90s or 2000s defense.
That's the closest.
I'm looking at some of the plays and I'm like, how is that ref not blowing that whistle, man? This is so weird to see, But I'm loving it. I'm loving it, man. Come on. Give guys a chance to play some defense, man. I love it. And that makes the double team more effective, right? Because they're not usually, before you could even set the next player, right? They already called a foul for even the guy just bumping into it, off the dribble, So I love seeing that. And hopefully that could, hopefully we could get a little bit of that in the regular season too, man. Don't just leave that for the playoffs.
You're pushing it a little.
I know, but still, it's like, come on, give us something, Yeah. So I get it. I know it's unrealistic, but still. Yeah, but the T-Wolves, legitimate.
Yeah,
what you see in there, legit,
Definitely.
So we talked about, covering the Bills and, the Owl's Nest stepping in and actually new nightclub in Grenada, and, they want to show out and they want to get people out there. The next video that I have from them is actually how you get there. So we gave you a glimpse of the inside and the lighting scheme and, just the engineering that went into the place. But actually, we want to show you guys how to get there. So just bear with us. This is an ad, but definitely it's for a new place called the Owl's Nest. We want you to enjoy it, and we'll be right back.
Figure out how to get to the club. Don't worry, you'll get the exact directions right now. But first, I'm gonna need a ride. Welcome to the Owl's Nest. I could get your best drink there, please, oh. This is one of our private rooms, mostly used as a hookah lounge. If you want to be a little more secluded away from the stuff, this is where you want to be. This is our top floor, away from the dance. It's a most spacious area. If you want to get away from all the noise, you could just come up here and take in the views. And this one is for the ladies. But you gotta come here to see it yourself. And we have one more private room for you, but I don't want to say too much. We'll see you guys at the Owl's Nest.
Yep. Woo. Telling you, man.
Man, oh man.
Done right.
Oh, yes.
Check them out. Shout out to the Owl's Nest Nocturnal and the crew down there.
Yeah.
You just saw how you check it out. And again, we love seeing new things, but when you get a new nightclub in the area, you gotta check it out. So Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays from 9 p.m. Until and they got later hours, right? They're not hooked into the 2 a.m. Curfew.
2 a.m. What is that?
Yeah, 2 a.m. What is that, right? You're not going home that early, so definitely check out the Owl's Nest and give them definitely contribution there, man. Patronize the bar.
That's right, fan. Inside better than outside.
definitely, man. Shout out to Fan, yo. But so we're back. So we got the Thunder Mavs, right? I think that was the last point we had.
Yeah.
What do you see? Who do you see coming out of that series?
Honestly, I watched the game last night, and both teams were a little shaky to begin with. The Mavs were just out of it. Kyrie was missing everything. Luka was missing everything. I don't know if it's because they just finished the series and they started to lay back a little bit. I don't know what it was, if it was first game jitters or what it was, but they were off yesterday. And they didn't lose by much because they did start to compile a comeback in the late in the third and early fourth.
Right.
But I have Mavs winning mainly because of my boy Kai and Luka, that they have the experience that these young kids don't have. Right. And mainly because of that. And there were some mistakes early in the game that I thought, all right, this is a young squad. This is a young squad.
Yeah,
so that's why they're making these kind of mistakes. And this is the kind of errors that you can't make as a veteran team. And I think Luka and them would figure it out for the next game.
Give me OKC, man. I ain't trying to hear all of that.
Come on, Fannin. You see how me calling you Fannin. Come on, Atwin.
Give me OKC. Those young guns. Give me the young guns coming out of OKC. They are hungry. Let me tell you, man. There is something deeply flawed with this team.
They hungry for a whooping.
Team. Dallas, as currently constructed, is not the perfect team.
I agree.
And this that gives OKC a legitimate chance, and they got the MVP. All he has to do is continue to operate at that high level.
Who? They got the what?
They got. I'm calling him the MVP, man, because he should have gotten them. We started off this show talking about Jokic, right? He should have gotten that MVP, man, and unfortunately he's not. But if he continues to deliver at that high level that we know he can, where he's almost in that triple-double range in a way, and then that gives them a legitimate chance. He's just going to have to have high output and efficiency in this game for them to carry through. Now, I'm not discounting Mr. Kyrie Irving, right? Because we know who he is. We know what he can do at any point in time. I think he is actually the X factor for Dallas and not Luka. This is not a shot on Luka. Luka is bona fide superstar. Right. But Kyrie is that guy that can give you 50 points.
Easy.
Right? Easily. So, it all comes down to him and his output in this matchup. And I think I'm going to side with the Thunder in this one, man.
No, stop it, man.
So you're telling me so far we've said, by the way, so we said T-Wolves going through. We talked about that series.
T-Wolves. Yeah.
You're saying the Mavs right?
And the Mav goes through.
You got the Celtics over the Cavaliers,
Yeah, well, that's in 5. Yeah.
right? And what about the Knicks Pacers?
Honestly, I have the Pacers from based on what I saw last game.
Wow. Okay. All right. I mean, I'm not fighting you on that one. So Aaron Cumberbatch says Anthony Edwards will win.
Okay.
2024 championship.
So he's gonna win it by himself.
You know why I right now why I can't handle this? Because I'm watching.
This is a recency bias.
I'm watching in motion the rebirth of MJ fans.
Come on, stop this.
No. Hear me
Why
out.
why are they trying to make the man into MJ?
I exactly. We're on the same page here. We are watching a marketing campaign to sell this guy as somebody who he's not. And I'm telling you.
Even the thing is, right? If they wanted to compare him, they could compare him to somebody who he mimicked in back-to-back 40-point games at the age of 22.
Aaron says,
you go
it's
there,
the team, bro. Come on, it's the team. No. Don't get me wrong. It's the team. He is able to benefit off of the defense and the presence of the other players, definitely, and the way they're playing. Right, this team is being well coached right now. By the way, shout out to the coach and the coaching staff. They're being. But I'm just saying,
Finchie is doing some good work.
Right. But what I'm saying is we are seeing a campaign. I don't know if y'all are seeing it, but we're seeing this campaign where they're trying to sell him, and I think that's a mistake they're making. Like you could market him, but you don't need the MJ comparisons right now in his career because his stats are not just his stats, but his play is still flawed. It's still really early, and I think you're setting him up for failure.
He's 22.
Right. Exactly. I think you're setting him up for too much failure by doing that, So let him do his thing in the space that team, how it's constructed, is allowing him to play, right? Freely.
I mean, the Nuggets can't stop him, so you might as well just...
No, they can't stop him. So definitely, I think he's going to enjoy the rest of the series. I'm calling either 4 or in...
Are you calling a sweep?
Yeah, I'm calling either a sweep or 5. 5 max. I don't see this going beyond that.
Okay, so if Nuggets win the next game, is it still 5? Or is it
5.
Go
I'm
6?
sticking with 5. I'm sticking with 5.
All right.
Listen, this team is, as you said, when you have a team that's bought in to the way that you're playing, that the way that you need to play, especially championship basketball, it's going to be a hard day at the office. And we've seen when you have bodies to throw at Jokic, when you neutralize him like that, the Nuggets, the offense, the way that the team actually plays changes, right? So and
it's not just how they play against Jokic, it's how they play against Murray as well.
When
you look at the last 2 games, as soon as Jokic normally comes out, right, to get a break, and as soon as Jokic comes out, they have nobody else to play his role. So they double team Murray one time.
Absolutely.
Right? Get that ball out of his hand.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it's this could still be an interesting series at the end of the day, right? This could still be a very interesting series, but it's going to require some deep changes in terms of the way that the Nuggets actually play, especially through Murray, because they're going to keep hounding him until a tactical change is made. Yeah. Shout out to Olinga. Olinga says if Nuggets win the next game, can't stick with 5.
So you see,
man. I mean, it's I've never seen this team that frustrated, man. They have tapped into a level of defense that's legit, and man, I'm at the moment.
But the problem is if they keep it up, that's what they have to do.
Exactly.
And the thing too, the refs are going to be different for the next game.
That's
so
the
let's
thing.
See if they let them get away with that amount
some of that. Yeah. It would be sad though. I'll say it right now, right? It would be very sad if the refs change the way that they've been calling the series, because I feel like the fans, why everybody's enjoying the series is not just down to Ant. It's just the way that the refs are allowing the game to play out, and that's huge, because let let the players play, man. Let some
Within
physicality into
reason,
the
of course.
game. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we don't see guys breaking pots or anything like that. But come on, man. If we choose to double him, pick him up, right? Bar his ability to go one direction, and then you have a support player come in and with a little bit of seasoning in terms of the physicality, and you let it go, man. That's
Yeah,
basketball,
that's
man.
basketball.
That's
Yeah,
basketball.
you
So
can't take that away from the game,
yeah,
especially after you played game one and game two with such physicality. You're gonna
that's what I'm
get
saying.
back
That's what I'm
now. It's
saying.
just, ratings are gonna
Yeah,
drop. Well, maybe not, but people are
yeah.
not gonna be happy.
So yeah, so for me, I think definitely for now I'm sticking with the sweep. I
Let's
think
do
that
sweep.
definitely you can't put it past them to do some switching up. But
Uh,
I'm calling a sweep, bro. Right now, I'm
uh,
calling a sweep.
I'm gonna
They
say five.
these guys know exactly what they're doing. When you could hold, you know, Jamal Murray till a plus minus 22. And I mean, you're playing defense, two guys in a team in the starting five, plus 23, plus 22. You have guys plus, I think Caldwell Pope was like a -9.
Yep.
Like these guys are shutting down the way they play legitimately across the
Yep.
board. I think
These
Nuggets had like the
Nuggets look so
majority of their starting five were like almost double digit
yeah,
minus in
minuses.
plus
Yeah.
minus. Like this is not some fluke
No,
system. They've studied the way they play and they're
they
actually shutting them down.
dismantled
Yeah.
them. And I don't think
Yeah.
people realize that last year the Nuggets beat the Timberwolves,
Facts.
right?
So
So this
yeah.
might be a revenge.
Well, he said it. He came out openly and said it, right? So that's it. Man, it's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be interesting.
It is.
And so guys are actually, so when, so I'll go back to the comments. Aaron says, I have Boston and the Timberwolves in the finals, and I would say Timberwolves in 5. Oof, not sure about that one, man.
Timberwolves in
These are
5.
good. I would actually like that series,
Boston?
man, but I'm not sure about 5, man. I'm
I
not
don't know
sure
about that
even if they could win that like that,
I don't know about that one.
because the Boston Celtics have bodies that could
They
arguably
got
take care of Ant on slow him on
bodies.
defense, and they could then come back on offense and handle him. You could argue Tatum and Jaylen Brown have just as much offense as Ant right now in his career.
That is
His career.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I'm just, and they have the bodies to
Maybe
play
more.
defense on him.
Mhm.
So,
And the defense to play defense as well.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that 5.
The
man.
only
That's
the
a
only
big
thing would
take.
be execution.
That's a big take. That's a big
Yeah, it's
take.
a
He also says, Nuggets will win one game.
Yeah, Nuggets will win game 4. All right.
That's a big take, man. That's a really big take. I'm not sure.
Don't forget, next game is on Friday, so they have a nice long rest in between. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, let's see, man. I guess we'll have an open mind, but guys are scoring in that team, but the way they're how effective they are, especially with the sets that they're running, it's just not. You're just not seeing that. So maybe we see something today. If they have to win something, it's gonna be today. And remember, I just want to say this, right? What is one of Denver's great advantages? We speak about this all the time. The altitude. These guys took the games in Denver. In Denver, man.
And they played full court defense in Denver.
Like they took the games in Denver. That's what is so crazy to me. Like, and it's the way they took it too, man. The game was over by the half in both cases, right?
Yeah.
It's
No. In game 2, you could say it was over.
Yeah, in game 2 it was over. But what I'm saying is, in Denver at high altitude, you're beating this team up legitimately, right? So I don't know, man. I'm calling a sweep, man. I'm calling a sweep.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm calling a sweep, but we'll see. We'll see. You're saying they'll take 4.
Game 4. Game 4.
I don't see it, man. I don't see it. Especially if they win. They win. When is the game? Tonight?
No, game's Friday.
Tomorrow. Yeah,
Friday.
Yeah, tomorrow. So, okay.
Friday. No, not even Friday. What's the day? Wednesday?
Yeah, today's Wednesday.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So Friday. So Friday. Game is Friday.
Okay. Yeah. So definitely looking forward to that. But definitely, I would say I'm calling the sweep, man. I'm calling the sweep. Yeah, I'm definitely.
That's a fair call.
So from I think I think we tied up all the different matchups, man, that are happening, man. We called, so you're saying Pacers, T-Wolves, Mavs and
It's
Celtics will be going
Mavs
through
and
basically.
Celtics.
Yeah. Okay.
I got
mean,
I got no love for the Knicks right now.
That's fair enough. That's fair enough. I mean, mine just slightly differs from you. I'm calling the Thunder, the T-Wolves. I think the Knicks could beat the Pacers, man. I think so. I'm gonna put them there, but I think they get swept by the Celtics when they go through. That's my take. So so I think that's what it's gonna end up in. I think going through past that point, I think you get. I think the T-Wolves can beat the Thunder because of the defense, the level of defense, the championship level defense that I'm seeing in the playoffs. I think they can slow down the Thunder, man. And I think the Celtics make it through the East ultimately, regardless of if the Knicks or Pacers go through. And
Agreed.
I think the Celtics win their first championship with the duo of Tatum and Jaylen Brown. So I think they get their first championship this season. I don't think
you asked me this earlier in the season. If the Celtics gets to the finals and they don't win, you blowing it up?
I think you got it. I think I did say you blow it up if they don't win this year. Right? The only way I'm picking them right now is because of how this opened up. I didn't see these matchups coming through. The way they are. And I just find it, because of how open it is, you got to go with the, Olinga just said, Celtics cannot beat the T-Wolves, man. So Aaron did say he loves the podcast. It's awesome. We do have a YouTube channel, which needs some work. We try to do it on Facebook, but we need to, it's on YouTube, but we take most of the comments here on Facebook, but definitely it's on YouTube. But definitely, going back to that, Celtics cannot beat the T-Wolves. I think that the Celtics have enough bodies to beat the T-Wolves. They got the offense to beat the T-Wolves. And they have, but I understand when you look at the defense.
I know why he says it.
Why is he saying it?
So let's see. Because the Celtics cannot close. So if they're not being a team out by 20 points, they're not gonna win.
Yeah, I mean, I get
I don't see them beating the T-Wolves every game by 20 points.
Yeah.
Especially in the NBA Finals.
I just think that they're the most
they're the most talented team on paper.
They're the most consistent team in the playoffs based on the regular season. So I want to be careful with that statement.
Yeah.
Based on the regular season, they're the most consistent squad left. Yes. Now, are they the most consistent? You could argue they're also the most consistent squad in the playoffs right now, right? And I say that because you could argue between them and the T-Wolves. And I think that's the finals. That's the finals matchup. So, but I see them going through. This should be an interesting series, right? Because you could have a Celtics championship without Tatum actually getting the MVP. It's a weird situation where, based on how they're playing, he doesn't win. Now, Olinga does say Tatum is the third best player in the playoffs. I'm guessing you have Ant above him, and you have Kyrie
not Kyrie.
I'm trying to think. Jaylen. Don't tell me.
Not Jaylen Brown.
He has Brunson probably above him. So Olinga, you got to state who you have above him, because you got him at 3. I'm gonna assume you have Brunson and Ant, because outside of those two, whoa.
Oh, you meant Celtics? Oh, nice. So you got Jaylen. You got Jaylen Brown, number 1, I assume. So who's number 2? Oh, Derek. You got White at number 2. Okay.
Oh shit, we got some trash talk right now, by the way.
Yeah, I ignored it specifically.
Wow. You remember all the shots that hit in your face in SGU?
I remember nothing.
Just like that symbol is coming.
I remember nothing.
Wow. Hey, Aaron, you need to send me the footage, man, so we could air that stuff right here, man. Because
There's no footage because it
it
didn't
ne-
happen.
there needs to be footage on this stuff, man. Well, yeah,
There's no footage. It didn't happen. All
Olinga,
right?
I would say definitely I agree with you over the last few games, but in terms of overall assessment, man, yeah, nah, man, he's the best player, man. It's good that
Yes.
they're winning games consistently with him playing like that, but
Yes.
he is there.
But I think he's consciously taking a step back so that everybody else can play well.
right.
At least that's what it looks like.
But he's gonna his legacy will take a hit definitely if he goes into the finals and
doesn't win.
Brown carrying you around.
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Those Kobe ads. Remember, we got ammunition, man. Those Kobe ads wearing a Lakers.
Oh boy. Wait. I think my boy Atwe's mic is a little off there, bro. We can't hear you, fam.
Back now?
Yeah, you good.
All right, we good now. Yeah. So my mic went out. Sorry about that. I started touching the mic and everything starts falling apart. But yeah, so yeah, going back to that, man. Yeah, he has to become more consistent. He has to match the tempo of the team and start stepping up, because you're gonna end up in a series with Ant, man, and Ant will. He's the type of player that wants to show you out, and that's why people like him. You're going up against KD, you're trash talking him, you're letting him know he's showing you out. So this is a time right now. This is the most open the league has been in terms of just the teams left. Everybody has a chance, at least a chance.
Yeah, but small chance.
Yeah, but going into it, I think Celtics for me, and
it was Celtics
the
Wolves. And the Wolves. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, a way Kyrie could really build his legacy, right, is by Dallas beating the Thunder, right?
Look at you
and
talking
going
about Kyrie.
going on.
I am pleased
to beat the T-Wolves. If he beats the T-Wolves, that's a really good add to his legacy.
Is that like so if Kyrie beats, well, I say Kyrie, but if they carry Luka and the Mavs when they beat the Thunder, and then they possibly meet the Wolves in the next round, based on how this is going, is that going to be like this is what I can do, why am I not on the Olympic team kind of thing?
I think we already there, man. Even with the selection,
we've been there.
Everybody was like, Kawhi? Like Kawhi?
I mean, nothing's wrong with Kawhi if he's healthy.
Yeah, but no, man. You're talking Kyrie, man. Come on.
Yeah, we know.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
you had some selections in there, right? I mean, you had Drew. Don't get me wrong. Drew Holiday is nice, right?
Yes.
But Drew Holiday is not Uncle Drew. All right, with all due respect,
Drew is not Uncle Drew.
Listen, U.S. basketball is about embarrassing other countries, right? And yeah, we had to talk about it being closer and closer. But at the end of the day, you have your best players out there. It's not going to be close with a lot of these games. All right. And you want a guy like Kyrie that could score, take over games. You want those type players, man.
That is proven to be the best player on the team in the fourth quarter of international games, because he has experience in international games.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy for me. I mean, don't get me wrong. That squad as it stands, and they probably looked at it as, we already have so much offense in here, man. That's unstoppable.
Needs a little defense. Yeah.
So let's just be able to lock it up and give these players a rest. And Drew Holiday, you have to remember too, probably why they went with that is because Drew Holiday gives you a bigger body. So you could swap him with some of the larger players too as well, play other positions, right? Because USAB, I mean, you could run players out of position as well, So I think there's some stuff behind that as well that they probably looked at. But I anticipate, here's the thing, that one of those players will actually drop out. There'll be a dropout of some sort, and I think next in line,
I think two players might be dropping out.
Maybe you get a chance to actually get Kyrie still playing if he's open to it.
I doubt it.
Yeah.
So he wasn't even an honorable mention, so that's why.
Yeah. So Olinga did say that Brown and White are the leading scorers on the Celtics. Definitely,
They are.
we talked about that earlier for sure, and it's true. He's not really firing like that right now. And Brown, who we've had multiple debates over. I wish this was happening last year, where we were debating about Tatum and Brown, but I still think Tatum is their number one option, regardless.
Agreed.
Aaron does say if the T-Wolves don't win the NBA championship, I will stop watch basketball.
Damn.
Bro, well, you better
All right,
start
good luck,
writing that by now,
Yeah,
because they're
good
not
luck.
beating. In my eyes, I don't think they can beat the Celtics, man. But you know what? It is what it is. I think they have a legitimate chance, second best chance on the chart right now, based on the brackets that I see. And OKC will win that series in 6 versus the Mavs.
right. Okay, cool.
You know what?
That's fair.
I will literally
Double
support
down?
that. I will
double down?
literally
All right.
support that. I got OKC as well, so
That's fine.
definitely.
That's okay.
Yeah,
We'll be okay. We'll be okay.
yeah, man. So, so what I would say is, tune in. We got, we got basketball playoffs, etc. All that
Yep.
right here. We talk about other sports as well. We try to have guests on from time to time, and we're just hoping that this can grow into something that sports fans wherever can come in. We generally talk about the statistics. We try to dive into the behaviors
Different
of we cover
Yeah,
everything,
it's
man.
everything.
So, and if you know people interested in sports, share this to them. Let them know we exist. We love
Hey.
bringing people on. So if you think you could
They
hang
could
with
join
us
in.
and defend
They
your
could join in.
team, we'll invite you on. But just make sure you can hold your own. It's not that easy sitting in the hot seat, man. So, hey, because what we tend to do,
Facts.
you're on the show, we're putting you in the middle, man, and those questions are coming. You got to defend your takes, so no hot takes without saying why and explaining how you came to it, so be careful with that, so but
Be careful.
no.
Be careful.
But
You gotta back it
definitely,
up.
man,
You gotta back it up.
yeah. But definitely for the NBA right now, I think it's in a good situation based on what I'm seeing
Definitely.
with the type of defense that I'm seeing in that series between the Nuggets and what they're allowing. And then it
They need to
leaves
keep-
questions with the Celtics based on how Tatum is actually playing and the game he has right now. Everybody
Yeah.
has questions about that, right? What is he
Yeah.
gonna do, knowing the impact of those legacy questions that come into, the foray when you're not performing at your best. You're not showing that level of consistency that superstars, rely on. So, but I think he has it in the chamber, man. I personally, you ask me, I think he'll wake up, man, when the time is right. So,
Hopefully.
yeah,
Hopefully. I
yeah,
really
think
hope so.
And he doesn't strike me as a superstar that's bothered right now by the fact that Jalen Brown
No,
is
I
stepping
think
up. I don't think.
I
he's
think it's
bothered by
early,
it.
and I don't think
Yeah,
they've like pushed him to any limit to be like, you
No,
need to take
no,
over this
no.
game.
Yeah,
Let's just
no,
play the
no,
team
no.
ball. We're
And
winning.
we're winning, and we're
Whatnot.
winning.
Yeah.
And let's get to the championship. That's all. That's
That's
all.
right.
So I think that's what's gonna happen right now. But I think where you may see some friction is, let's say you're in the finals. Jalen Brown is still scoring. They're winning, and now you're in a situation where
I gotta put up some
know
points.
and now you gotta put up those points, man. And now you're putting up points, and it's affecting the performance of the team.
Yeah.
Ooh wee, that's spice, man. That's spice.
You're gonna start a
So-
dribble.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Let's take a
that
step back.
We've seen it before. We've seen it before.
We've seen it before.
So
Dribble,
Aaron
dribble,
was
dribble,
saying
take a
he's
step
like
back.
a
The
next Stephen A. Hey,
All
bring
right,
it,
okay.
man. Bring it. Let's get you on here, man.
Hey,
Let's
Stephen A has some awesome 9 takes, all right?
Yeah, let's. I'm telling.
So, hey,
That's not necessarily a good thing, man. We've seen him
It's
catch.
not.
We've seen him catch some L's, man. Hey, so
a lot of them.
be careful with that. Be careful with that. So but definitely we'd welcome anybody on, and we hope you guys had a good time with us tonight. Sports, we love it, and definitely we're hoping that we can bring on more guests, just have a conversation with people tuned in. And don't forget, invite your friends, let them know this is happening so that we can continue to actually grow and have this podcast in the first place. So, shout out to everybody on the pod, guests,
Hey,
and all the questions,
Appreciate you
all the
guys.
comments. Means the world, man. You know how it is. We're actually
Thank you,
going to
guys.
leave you with the ad. We got to pay the bills, remember?
yeah,
So-
you gotta shout out to the sponsors, yo.
Definitely. So shout out again to the team running the Owl's Nest. Thank you for covering some of the bills tonight. And, we want everybody tuned in. If you're in Grenada, make sure you check out that place, okay? It's not for any age. It's a place where you could go and get some drinks, check out a rooftop, whatever. They may have live bands in the future up top, up there. And the lighting scheme is second to none right now. So definitely scope it out.
It is dope.
Yeah, definitely air on everybody that commented tonight. Shout out to the Knicks fans. Y'all delusional bunch, man.
Whatever Knicks fans they are right now. I don't know.
All right, so
Where's Will?
definitely, man.
What is Will?
That's crazy, man. Crazy. Yeah, blessings on the night, and we'll leave you guys with the ad. All right, we're out.
All right.
Peace.
Take care, guys.